This video is going to show you how to, right here, trim out your windows and stuff. As you can see, we've already got a yellow pine board here. We have, this started out as a 1x6. You don't have to pan down there, you can just look at it. This started out as a 1x6. All we did to get that board in there was take the tape measure, measure in between, get a very tight measurement. Anytime you're doing trim work, you really want less than about a 1/16 tolerance. So we measure from the inside here to the inside here. I got 28 1/4. We've already cut that piece. And then in order to get our width, we measure from the window here to the outside edge of the drywall here. A lot of times this isn't a perfect measurement all the way across. A lot of times what we have to do is, let's say we got 2 7/8, 2 13/16, and 2 and something else. A lot of times we have to pick a measurement in between and rip it down to that. So right here we've got 2 and this is 13/16. Down here we got 2 and 13/16. Yeah, it's a hair under 13/16. So we rip this board down. If you've got just a little bit of overhang, just a tiny bit right here, you can live with it, and what will happen is your window casing right here will flex just enough to get you to where you won't see the gap, and you can always caulk it, but you don't want to caulk too much. So like I said, this yellow pine board started as a 1x6 that we had to rip down. Now we're going to move on to the window sill. The first thing I'm doing is you've got to get you a good 2-foot level, 3-foot level, depending on how long it is. This is a small window. This is the last window we've got left at the house project. So if you're watching this 20 years from now, we used to work on a house and build a house. If you can see that bubble, Herman, can you? That bubble is slightly shaded, if you will, to one side. And in order to get that perfectly level, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to shim that left side up probably 1/8 of an inch to get that right in. So that tells me that whenever I put my window sill in there, that I'm gonna have to do a little bit of trimming. This is our window sill. The other white one. Big white one.
The big one?
Oh, I've got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Leave that one.
Yeah. It's in my hand.
The window sill, what we have done is, in order to get the correct length of the window sill, your window sill actually sticks out past a little bit on each side, and we've already got a good calculation for this. My window down here is 28 1/4. Yet again, same as the top. If I take 28 1/4 and I add, you have to add 4 1/4 to that measurement. So 28 1/4 plus 4 1/4 is, surprise for my students.
We're gophers, we ain't mad.
That should be 32 1/2. This board should be cut to, this board should be cut to 32 1/2. Y'all got me the wrong one. Yep, it is. So this board right here that we're going to use for the window sill is cut to 32 1/2. The window sill comes 5 1/4 wide. Window sill comes 5 1/4 wide. We don't want that much window sill sticking out. So what we're gonna do is, what we did is we got a little portable table saw here, and we shaved it down. We took 1 inch off of the back side. Now it matters which inch or which side you take this off of. You got a flat side and you got a rounded side. That rounded side sits right here in the window, on the inside part of the window. So you do not take off the rounded side whenever you do this. I'm gonna give that back to you guys. We have to cut out 2 notches right here. In order to have the same amount of overhang on either side of the window, I told you earlier that we added 4 1/4. When we add 4 1/4, we've got to take that, divide that by 2. 4 1/4 divided by 2, half of 4 is 2. Half of 1/4 is 1/8, so we got to come in 2 1/8 from each side. So we're going to come in right here. I'm going to put a mark at 2 1/8. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to put a mark at 2 1/8. And then I have to figure out how far in I want to notch this. In order to get that, I have to measure, yet again, from my window to the outside here. I'm getting 2 13/16. That is my left side, so I'm going to come over here and go in 2 13/16. This side right here, you may think the natural inclination is to think that these are going to be the same, but even the tiniest gap can throw stuff off. So I like to measure both sides. This one, however, is 2 13/16, so that one would have worked out. Once I get my marks on there, I'm going to take my speed square and I'm going to make a notch. Gotta get a battery. I got kids in the house working right now, so if you're hearing all the noise inside, that's probably what that is. Right here, this notch, can you see this? We're gonna cut this notch out. We're gonna come over here and cut this notch out, and that's gonna slide in our window. So we're gonna do that real quick. My guy with the circular saw is back just right on time. Somebody has set the depth here. Let me set that down. Whenever I'm cutting, I'm going to throw some safety glasses on. Whenever you're cutting, I've had a lot of students mess this up. Whenever you're cutting, look down here. You got to cut on the inside of this line. Do not cut on the line. Do not cut on the outside of this line, but it's got to be on the inside of this line, the inside of this line. Can you hold your knee on it?
I can get you.
There we go. When you're working out here in these treacherous conditions, sometimes your cameraman has to go above and beyond. Good deal. We've got that. Now the reason that's not going to fall out, if you look right here, your blade is circular. So on the front side, it connects, but on the back side, these aren't connecting. So I've got to get my gopher here, my nice gopher man, get me a circular coping saw. You can do this with pretty much any kind of hand saw. You want to make sure that you got a nice corner right here. You want to go easy whenever you're cutting this out. Good deal. We're going to come up here and we're going to hope she fits. Level. So we've got a problem. Sometimes it's actually good that you run into problems. Show you how to fix them. If I've got, I don't know if this board wasn't exactly 32 and a half, but we're going to come right there. We're just going to make a mark and we're going to trim that off. The board should slide right on in. Right, Foster?
You.
We got some window tape. This window has not been caulked or foamed around. So there's some window tape still sticking out right here that I'm gonna have to cut off with my knife. Hopefully that won't get in my way. All right, look right here. There's a small gap. This one's not, I've seen better. Most of the house is better. Some of this window tape is holding me out. Let me cut this off real quick. See if we can close up that gap. Get my fingers in there. All right, so we're tight there. We're tight there when we push it down, but we got a gap here. That tells me that my window bows out a little bit. We can take some painter's caulk and put it across right here. That's what'll end up happening there. Now that we got that in, I need my guy with a level, shims. So I'm gonna look at my level. My cameraman, get right here, get over top, get right over top of it. If you can see that we're shaded to one side. Now to most high school students, that actually looks like it's good. All right, but you can tell that that's definitely shaded. So my left side is gonna have to come up just a little bit. And so what we're gonna do is, right here, film right here. I'm gonna show you just that little bit of shading. I wanna show you the difference that that makes right here. That right there is perfectly level. So there's probably a 1/8 of an inch gap over there on that left side, maybe even a little more than that. So we're gonna take a shim. I need one of them long ones. And we're gonna keep shimming under this right here until we get to perfectly level. And actually sticking one shim under there is right where we wanna be. So once we get to perfectly level, I wanna make sure everything's good and tight in both of these. Take my nail gun. And we'll take, and I'm gonna make sure I push in good and tight. I'm gonna shoot right through that shim. And for right now, I'm only gonna pop 2 nails in this. I need one more shim. Now, once I get the very first thing that I've gotta do, once I get my window sill in, is I gotta come up here to my top. I've already done this, but this top was it was not level. So what I had to do was I had to bring it down just a little bit. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to throw a shim in on this side right here to get my top just the way I want it. And the reason that it matters so much that you get everything perfectly level, and I mean perfectly level, is whenever you get ready to put your casing around the edges, if this isn't level and this isn't perfectly plumb, I'll have gaps in my corners where my 245s meet. My 245s won't make the 90 that I need. I need my air nailer. Let me check this one more time just to make sure this hasn't moved. That looks pretty good. We're gonna nail through my shim. Always wear your safety glasses. I'm gonna take a nail out. Now I need my 2 side pieces. If you're wondering why we're using yellow pine here, this yellow pine is gonna get painted when the painter come in here at the house project. We will putty all of these nail holes. He'll paint the yellow pine. This is prime seal. Prime just means that they put like 1 coat of paint on it, but it's still gonna need another coat of paint for sure. We're gonna have to cut these. These right here, are gonna go here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have to cut these. Since I've already got my seal in, and since I've already got the top in, what we can do is I can just make a mark right here, and I'll get my two gophers to go cut these for us. If you don't know what a gopher is, while I'm sitting here, a gopher is a guy that runs and goes and gets things and hands you things. They're very valuable whenever you're working, especially if you're a guy that's filming and you need some work done. My gophers are gonna scurry away real quick and cut that. And while we're sitting here, I'll talk to you about these shims. What we can do, if you've got I call it an oscillating tool. Some people call it a Sony Crafter. Different people make them, but you can take a knife if you want to. If you got a thin enough piece right here, and you can break these shims off, but these have to be flush right here. That way my casing can sit flush right here. And this piece under here will do the same thing with that shim there. Hopefully my gophers have made a good cut. Oh, gopher. Oh, gopher. Oh, gopher.
I can't believe you went
Cut on the waist side of the line. If you're cutting, and if you're in Carpentry 3, you should already know this, but if you're cutting, you've got to cut on the waist side of the line. Don't cut on the line. You should probably have told him that.
I'll tell you.
Hang on. Gopher, come here. Oh, Lord. So if you can see this, can you film this right here? If you've got really good gophers, they'll know what they're doing whenever they're cutting, but I can't. Anytime you're doing trim work, you can't live with that kind of a gap. So what I'm gonna ask my gophers to do, we're gonna pause video and then we're gonna cut back in. So I'm gonna get him to pause real quick. This was an unforeseen circumstance.
Hey, they need to know.
I don't know, this is fun, but.
Just hit the